Ahead of the Week 6 matchup between Minnesota and Miami, questions surrounding the Dolphins quarterback situation. So yesterday, head coach Mike McDaniel said that the plan was to start 7th-round rookie quarterback Skylar Thompson. Then today, Ian Rappaport reported that Teddy, while still in concussion protocol, is returning to practice on a limited basis. So if it ends up being Teddy that starts in Sunday's game, we're talking about a guy who we're well aware of who he is as a player, former Vikings quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. He's a serviceable backup quarterback, doesn't have the strongest of arms, but he's safe. Now, if it ends up being Skylar Thompson, first thing I notice is that he looks a lot taller than he's listed. 6'2", I'm like, that's got to be a typo, but he uses his whole height to stand tall in the pocket, textbook stance, feet shoulder length apart. He is a dual threat quarterback. He has no problem slipping away from pressure when the pocket collapses. Expect the bootleg plays to get him out in space. He has the mechanics to make every throw out there. The thing that's held him back is his decision making. So if you play decent enough coverage, he'll force passes, but to his credit, if the secondary is weak and or you get caught off guard on the play action, he's pretty good. Initially, I dismissed this as a guy, a third string quarterback, who the hell cares? But after watching film on the guy, he's kind of nice. In the preseason, threw for 450 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions at a 75% completion rate. That's amazing. The concern here is that for the Vikings, the pass rush has been suspect. The quarterbacks, damn near every one of them that they faced, play their best against this defense. The Vikings currently allow the second highest completion rate, Green Bay being the worst. Not to mention the plague that has manifested itself when this team plays backup quarterbacks. Andy Dalton this year, Cooper Rush last year, Andy Dalton in 2020 with Dallas, Brandon Allen 2019 with Denver. This game's got a spooky feel to it. Now, with that said, if this defense gets put through the ringer against a 7th-round rookie quarterback, then Ed Donatel should be fired, even in a win. You can't pretend going up against the worst quarterbacks in the league, and they continuously take this defense to the very end of the game clock. You can't pretend to be at ease or confident when it's time to face a quarterback who actually knows what the hell it is that he's doing. This defense has been the check engine light in the dashboard. Initially, probably no big deal, can get back and forth to work for a week or two, but the more that you drive that car and do nothing, you start hearing new sounds under the hood or it stops working altogether. Get ahead of it now, make the adjustments, and fix this defense because Skylar Thompson, with time going up against a poor secondary, he can make things happen. As far as where can the pressure come from for the Vikings defense, whether it's Zadarius Smith, that's if he plays or how much he plays, dealing with the knee injury, Danielle Hunter, or by golly, DJ Wonnum, can't believe I'm saying that. He has really impressed me this season, evolved his game into a true edge setter. But whoever it is at left outside linebacker, you need to exploit the weakness known as Greg Little at right tackle. No excuses. Any edge rusher taking on Greg Little is the equivalent of an all-Madden player taking on a rookie mode gamer. Liam Eichenberg at left guard is a swinging gate. Teron Armstead, if he's unable to go, dealing with a toe injury, there are no excuses to not have a pass rush on Sunday. Their receivers, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, scare the hell out of me. It's like guarding two Sonic the Hedgehogs. They're capable of blowing by the secondary at any moment for a big play. In fact, Skylar Thompson has the luxury to decide if he wants to, screw it. I'm going to heave this ball up. Tyreek and Jalen, one of them are out there. He can do that with these receivers. Cam's progression this year, Cam Dantzler, has been a delight to watch. P2, I do worry about him trying to keep up with these speedsters. Safety help is a requirement. You have to go too deep all game long. There's no way at any moment in this game, even if it's for just one play, there's no way you can feel comfortable going single high at all. The run game, Raheem Mostert, if he's able to go, he's going to be a problem for this Vikings defense. That's if he's able to go, dealing with the knee injury. Man, the Miami Dolphins, their injury report is a mess. Expect the Dolphins to establish the run to take pressure off their quarterback. The Vikings last week did an excellent job stifling Chicago's running backs. You need that same energy this time around. For the Vikings offense, you're facing a 3-4 Miami-based defense with Brian O'Neill taking on outside linebacker duties. I do worry about Ed Ingram versus Christian Wilkins, who's really the only threat on their defensive line. And one would think that should equate to barbecue chicken for Dalvin Cook to run through. Inside runs, I would say yes. Outside stretch runs, you got to be careful because they're two edge rushers. Jalen Phillips and Melvin Ingram, they can shut that down real quick. In fact, Jalen Phillips, kind of a similar situation. His usage in Miami, like Danielle Hunter in Minnesota. At times, for whatever reason, they want to drop him back in coverage, takes away from his strengths. He's better off charging towards and past the line of scrimmage instead of backpedaling away from it. Brian O'Neill, you got to get it together for this one. Because with Ed Ingram, we can't have the whole right side struggling. Focus on the inside run game. And in the passing game, Miami, they've got their star safety, Javon Holland, who I really wanted the Vikings to draft last year out of Oregon. I expect for him to, at times, overload blitz on the right side of the Vikings offensive line. He's got some shades of Ed Reed to his game. His straight line speed, his ability to zip on the football at the precise moment when the receiver is expected to make the play is incredible. And after that, it's open season on this bum-ass secondary, and that includes Xavier Howard, who in 4 games has allowed a 64% completion rate, 252 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The Justin Jefferson journey to 2K continues. He gets at least 1 TD. Kirk Cousins throws for at least 3. I'm going to say the Vikings win by a final score projection, 28-20. Comments time. Zach Mueller. If we had beat the Eagles, we'd still be underrated. Oh, for sure, no doubt. I've been following this team for 22 years. The Vikings get no respect by the national media. I've seen recently power rankings where they've had Green Bay ahead of the Vikings. And I'm like, are you shitting me? You're thinking about the name instead of the game because the Vikings objectively are a much better team right now. So you're right. If they had beaten the Eagles in week 2 and we'd be 5-0 instead of 4-1, I have no doubt that the national media would shit all over that and say, yeah, you know what? That's all well and good. We've got them as the 12th ranked team in the league. Next comment by David Bryant. I think as the offense improves, the defense will also improve. It goes hand in hand. I disagree with that. With the offense, it's just one thing. We are a 2021 version of Kirk Cousins away from being an elite offense to where the defense is a mess. There's a whole bunch of things to sort through. And quite honestly, what we've seen this year defensively by the Vikings, I've seen nothing different compared to the last 2 years, whereas they started and finished the year as one of the worst defenses in the league. Last comment by Vikings fan 123. Well, though I feel like we are a good team, I feel like this up and coming game will show us who we are as a team, especially if Tua plays. Well, Tua's already ruled out for this game, but I get the train of thought there. I'm saving the energy that you have, Vikings fan 123, for the Buffalo Bills game. Until then, the next best thing that we can hope for, me anyway, is whether it's Teddy Bridgewater or Skylar Thompson, I want to see a blowout win for this Vikings team.